Okay, so just sitting nice and tall. Close down your eyes and just take a few breaths. Breathing in and out of the nostrils. And just really connecting in with the breath, possibly for the first time today. And noticing the rise and the fall of the chest. Feeling the breath as it enters and exits the body. Feel as it enters in through the nostrils. And just follow that passage of breath as it moves into the body. Down into the lungs, down into the belly. And then trace it back out again. Make sure that the exhale is long and complete. Maybe take a little pause at the top or at the bottom of the breath. Just connecting, finding a rhythm that works for you, that you're going to use through your practice today. And trying to not allow the mind to get bombarded with thoughts and to become busy, but to try and keep some clarity, some space up there. So inevitably thoughts will present themselves to you, will come, they will go, some will hang around a little bit longer. Just trying not to join the narrative or to attach energy, but to just observe those thoughts as they enter the mind. And use your exhale to just let go. Let go of those thoughts, let go of any tension that you might be holding on to as well. Bring the hands into prayer at heart center and set a focus and intention for today's practice. Lovely. Okay, let's open the eyes, reach the hands up. Inhale, reach up high, and then take it over for a side bend. So left hand down, right arm reaches up and over. Push the right sit bone down into the floor and really extend and reach with that stretch. Inhale, reach back to center, take it down the other way. So extend and reach, push the left sit bone down. Good. Inhale, reach to center. And then exhale, let's fold forward. So reach forward, hands come down, head just drops down, but keep the sit bones grounded. And just walk the fingertips forward as you keep your bottom on the mat and feel that stretch coming up through the back and all the way down to the fingertips. And then slowly roll up the spine and just come back up into seated. Good. Just switch your legs over. So put the other leg in front. Good. Inhale, reach up nice and high. Interlace your fingers and push them up and away. And then exhale, push the arms in front and round the spine, bringing the chin down onto the chest. Inhale, take the arms up, reach and extend. And then again, let's fold forward. See if it feels any different on this side. Our hips often stop us from going deeper. So just let the head drop down, walk the fingertips forward. Breathe into the back body, keep the sit bones grounded. Lovely, and then slowly roll up and just come back into seated. Good, come over into tabletop. So come onto hands and knees. Making sure that the fingers are spread underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. As you inhale, let's tilt the tailbone, lift the head. Couple of rounds of cat-cow, and then exhale, round the spine, bring the chin into the chest. Good. Inhale, lift the head, tilt the tailbone back. And then exhale, let's round. And one more round. So inhaling, head lifts, tailbone tilts back. And then exhale, rounding the spine. And releasing back to neutral position. Extend the right arm forward, the left leg back. Really extend along that length from the fingertip to the heel and then release it down. Switch over. So left arm, right leg. Extend and release. Good. Again, inhale, reach and extend. Bring it down. And the other side. So use your breath and release. One more on each side. So extend right arm, left leg. And drop it down. And then the other side. Last one. Push back. And release. Lovely. Tuck your toes under. And just come back so that you're sitting. To give yourself a little bit of a toe stretch here. Inhale, take your arms up to the ceiling. Reach up nice and high. Extend. And then come back into tabletop. Untuck the toes, give them a little bash. Tuck them under. And let's move up into our downward facing dog. Let's keep the knees bent to begin with. So just working on that line from your hands all the way up to your hips. So pushing back, so knees are soft. So push the chest back as far as you can. Just find a few breaths here. Good. Keep lifting that tailbone. Lengthen from your fingertips to your hips. And then start pedaling out the legs. So push one heel down to the floor. And then change. So walking out the legs slowly. Good. Make sure that the neck is nice and long so we've got no tension there. The head is heavy. And then come to find stillness in your downward facing. Pushing both heels to the floor. And lifting the hips nice and high. Make sure we've got space around the ears, the shoulder area. Good. Bring it forward to plank. Lower your knees down onto the floor. Let's bring chin and chest down. Elbows are tight. Release yourself to lay down onto your tummy. Inhale into your baby cobra. Just lifting up a little. Exhale, lower down. Push back to tabletop and all the way back to your pose of a child. Forehead comes to the mat. Arms stay extended and reaching forward. Good. Come forward into your tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Lift up. But keep the knees bent as you push your chest back to your thighs. So keep those knees bent, nice and soft. And hold there. Get that length from your fingertips to your hips. Then slowly straighten the legs and push back into downward facing. Nice. Come forward to plank. Lower through knees, chin and chest. Release yourself to lay down onto your tummy and tuck your toes. Inhale. Back bend. Exhale. Lower, push back, child's pose, bottom reaches back onto the heels. Good. Come up into your tabletop. And then again, tuck your toes. Lift your knees, but keep the knees bent as we push the chest back towards the thighs. We get that length before extending back into our downward facing dog. Good. Walk your hands to your feet. Let's take opposite elbows here for a ragdoll. Again, the knees can be soft if necessary, and maybe sway from side to side. And just rock it out forward and backwards, playing around with the weight distribution in your feet. So bring your fingertips to the floor and then rock forward into the balls of the feet and then back into the heels until you can find that point where you've got equal pressure through the four corners of the feet. Try and lengthen the spine even more so the top of the head goes down towards the floor so you can really feel that stretch coming through the top of the hamstrings here, and release your arms down to the floor. Slowly roll up the spine, soft knees, get engaged core as you come up. Give the shoulders a roll back and down, bring the feet in together. Hands come into prayer at heart center. Nice big deep inhale and exhale to release. Inhale, let's sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the hands onto the shins, halfway lift. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold and walk forward to plank. Hold that plank position. So keep it nice and strong and engaged. So pushing up through the top of the shoulder blades, pushing your heels to the back of the room. Tummy's on, bum is on, thighs are on, everything's on. Holding here. You can lower the knees if necessary, but hold that nice strong plank shape and hold. And just for a few more breaths, hold it here. Take a nice big deep inhale. We're exhaling back to down dog. So hips lift, heels go to the floor. Good. Inhale, bring it forward again to plank. Lower through chaturanga or knees, chin and chest. Push through into your back bend. Exhaling into downward facing dog. Take the right leg into the air. 3-leg dog. Big step, bring it forward between the hands. Lower the left knee down onto the mat. Take an inhale. Arms come up into low lunge. As you exhale, cactus the arms. Lift the chest. So cactus back bend here. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, rock the hips back. Pull the left toes up, that right toe, whichever leg's in front. Sorry, I'm not sure which side we're on. So we get the hamstring stretch. Take the chest down towards the thighs. And then release. Bring the hands back to the front of the mat. Step back into plank position. And lower through your chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to downward facing. Lovely. Okay, other side. Lift the left leg into the air. Nice and strong. Keep the hips square. Step forward between the hands. Lower the back knee down. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Arms come into cactus. Find a little bit of a back bend here. Good. Reach up. Inhale. As you exhale, rock the hips back. Pull those front toes up towards you. Hands come down to the floor. The chest comes down towards that front thigh. So you feel the hamstring stretch coming down the back of this leg. If it's too much, we can soften it off or take the hips back a bit more. But just find the breath. Let's go a little bit deeper if we can. And then release. Bring it back to center. Hands to the top of the mat. Step back to plank. Vinyasa here. Lower through chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And exhale into downward facing. Just take a few breaths. Lovely. Start walking or stepping both feet to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Now fold over your legs. Root to rise, bring the arms up. And then the hands come into prayer at heart center. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest. As you exhale, we're going to step the right foot back. Drop the hips. But lift the chest and look forward. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Cactus your back bend, so cactus the arms, lift the chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come down to the floor. Just bring that back foot in slightly and then push back to straighten both of your legs. So push it all the way back. Fingertips on the floor. If we can't quite reach the floor, we can always bring the hands onto the hips. But we want to keep the hips nice and square, so try and pull your right hip forward and your left hip back. So we're feeling that hamstring stretch here. Taking the chest down towards the thigh, if that is an option for you. Take another breath, go deeper if you can. And then bend back into the front knee, hands at the top of the mat. Step back into plank position, lower through chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. And then again, walking or stepping your feet to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bring it all the way up as you inhale. Hands to prayer heart center. Good. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And release. Step back, left foot. Drop the hips, lift the chest, look forward. Bring the arms up into your high lunge. Cactus your back bend. Cactus the arms. Look back along the ceiling, reach the hands up. And release them down. Frame that front foot. Bring the back foot in slightly. Push both hips back. Straighten both legs. Fingertips, floor, or hips. But trying to keep those hips nice and square. So right hip pushes back, left hip pulls forward. Chest goes down towards the thigh. And we breathe. We might be able to take it a little bit deeper. Good, one more breath here. And then bend back into that front knee. Step back into plank. Lower. Push through and roll over the toes. Hips lift and all the way back into downward facing dog. Awesome. Give the head a shake out. Release any tension. Inhale, lift up onto your toes. Exhale, push your heels to the floor. Really drive them down to the mat. Look forward, bend at the knees, jump or step. Both feet forward, lift the chest, and then fold onto the legs. Get hold of the back of the calves. Really pull the belly in as you bring your chest to your thighs, your forehead towards your knees or shins. Then squeeze in tight. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lift your bottom a little bit higher. Take some weight into the balls of your feet. And then release off. Inhale, slowly come up, softening through the knees. And exhale. Bring the hands into prayer at heart center. Good, well done. Take the weight into your left foot. Bring the right knee into your chest. Just get that balance. And then take hold of the foot and guide it in for tree posture. So above or below the knee joint. Hands come into prayer at heart center. Stay nice and tall. Now, interlace your fingers, push them away from you. And then take them up to the ceiling. Try to bring the arms back past the ears and then push that right knee out a little bit further. Engage through the core. Root down through the left foot. Keep the head looking up and forward rather than down. Just hold the balance. Take one more breath. And then slowly release it back to center. Hands come back to prayer. Knee comes forward. We're going into warrior three. So push that heel to the back of the room. Trying to keep the hips as square as we can. Hold for a moment. And then lower the foot down to the back of the mat. So long stance. Pop the heel down on the diagonal, but keep the hips facing forward. Inhale, arms come up. Warrior one. Sink deep into your warrior. Hips and shoulders are facing forward. Neck and shoulders are relaxed. Bring the arms into a cactus. Let's find a back bend here. So lift the chest. Take your gaze back along the ceiling. Lovely. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, open up into warrior two. So adjust the feet if we need to, so the heel and the arch are in line with each other. Arms are extended, looking towards our left middle finger. Make it strong. If it's too much on the shoulders, we can just turn the palms up to relax them. But look along that top line. Bend deeper into that front knee. Bring the elbow down onto the knee. Take the right hand up to the sky. Reach up and look towards it. You can almost lift the elbow off the front knee. We're not putting weight into it. But just squeezing the left hip under, pulling the right shoulder back. Nice, bring it back to warrior two. Let's straighten the front leg. Take your reverse triangle. So reach up and back. Get some length through that side of the body. And then bring the arms back into center. Bring the arms back into center. We're going to balancing half move. So if you look in front of your front foot, we're going to place our hand forward and then lift the back leg up into our balancing half move. So the toes are pointing. So the foot is flexed, toes are pointing forward, reach the arm up to the sky. Good. And then hold it here nice and strong. You might be able to bring your hands into prayer at heart center. Good, release back out, slowly lower that foot to the back of the mat. Bring your hands down and frame your front foot. Well done, take a vinyasa from here. So step back into plank, lower through chaturanga. Inhale into up dog. Exhaling into downward facing. Good, 5 breaths. If you need to drop your knees and take a child's pose, please do, but 5 breaths. Child's pose or downward facing before we transition onto the other side. Nice, just feel the length of that breath again, making sure we've still got the long, deep inhales and exhales. After that 5th breath, look forward, bend at the knees, jump or step to the top of the mat, halfway left. Exhale, fold down over the legs, squeeze in tight. Sweep the arms up and we inhale. Bring them into prayer at heart center. Weight into your right foot, left knee to chest. Get your balance, find your focal point, and then tree posture here, so guiding the foot into place above or below the knee joint, hands at prayer. Interlace your fingers, push them forward, then take them up to the ceiling. Trying to bring the arms back past the ears. Engage through the core, pull that left knee further out to really work into the hip. Ground down through the right foot. Grow taller, lift up through the rib cage. Lengthen up through the spine. Reach up. Whoop. And then carefully bring the hands back to prayer. The knee comes forward again. Warrior 3, push the foot back as we pivot forward on the hip joint. Good. Flex that back foot, hold here, hips are square. Lower the foot slowly to the back of the mat. Pop the heel down on the diagonal. You need to widen your feet here, you can. So hips stay forward. Bend deep into the front knee. Raise the arms up into warrior 1. So bend nice and deep. Good. Take a big deep breath in. Sink a little bit deeper if you can. Then bring the arms into our cactus shape. And then lift the chest. A little bit of a back bend, so look back along the ceiling. Then deep into that front knee. Inhale, raise your arms up to the sky. As you exhale, open into your warrior 2. Go deep, look towards that right middle finger. Make sure your knee is going towards your little toe, shoulders are relaxed. Extend that top line, drop the elbow to the knee. Reach your arm up towards the ceiling, left hand extends. Good, so trying to get this front knee over the ankle. And we're not leaning too much on this elbow, it's just there to stabilize us. So reach up, look up towards your top hand if the neck feels okay. So get a lovely stretch. Should feel it here as well in the inner thigh as the knee moves out. Good, bring it back up to warrior 2. Let's straighten the front leg. And take your reverse triangle. So reach up and all the way back. Just let this back hand balance on the back leg. And then bring it back to center into your balancing half moon. So look in front of your foot. So that's where the hand is going to go. As you lift the left leg, left arm into the sky, flex that foot and hold here, opening the whole body to the side edge of the mat. So don't allow that top hip to drop. And then you can try to bring the hands into prayer at heart center. To find your balance. And carefully release back out. Step that foot all the way to the back of the mat. Bring the hands down and then step it back into plank. Well done, lower. Chaturanga, inhale, up dog. Exhaling, downward facing or child's pose for 5 breaths. Take a drink if you need one. And just settle into release, tension, tightness. Just release it and let it go. Well done, everyone. Big, deep inhales. Long, slow exhales. Okay, we'll start again from our downward facing. So if you join there, come forward into plank position. Hold it strong. Push back into downward facing. Push those heels to the floor. Inhale, come forward into plank. Hold it here. Put the weight into take your feet wider. So feet are a bit wider on the back of the mat. And then with your left hand, touch your right shoulder and place it back down. And then with your right hand, touch your left shoulder and back down. And again, try and keep your hips square here so they're not rocking. So just gently lifting one hand to the opposite shoulder and back, and then the other one. Good, let's do one more on each side. So touch shoulder, engage the core, and this last one, and release it back down, push back into downward facing dog. Good, bring it forward into our plank position. Let's do that again. So left hand, right shoulder, and release. Right hand, left shoulder. Keep those hips square and release. And again. And release. So we've got 2 more on each side. So keep the hips square, keep the tummy on, nice and slow. Okay, one more on each side. The tap and release. And this last one. And release. Push back into downward facing dog. Well done. Bring those feet back into regular down dog length. Slowly walk your feet all the way forward, coming up to the top of the mat. Bring the hands onto the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, a deep forward fold here. Squeeze in, take hold of the legs, pull yourself in tight, lift your tailbone higher. And release off. Soften the knees and roll up the spine. Reach the arms to the sky and into prayer heart center. So feet and knees sit together at the top of the mat. Take an inhale, reach the arms up. Cactus your back bend. So arms into cactus, lift the chest. Good, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with the right foot. Plant the heel down on the diagonal. Inhale, arms come up, warrior one. Cactus back bend. Cactus the arms, lift to the ceiling. Reach up, open up, warrior two. Lovely, bring the elbow to the knee, right arm goes to the sky, or you can take your fingertips to the floor, take the extended side. So reach the arms forward to get that diagonal line if you prefer. We can stay with this if we would like the modification. Okay, so nice and strong. You can take a half or full bind here if you wish, taking that top hand behind. For the half bind or the full bind, dropping the shoulder under and getting hold of fingertips or wrist behind. And then let's just find some breath. Wherever you're working, just big deep inhales and exhales. Pulling back through this top shoulder. Good. And if we're bound, carefully release out. Everybody, let's inhale back up into warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Go for your reverse triangle. Reach it up and all the way back. And then back to center. So we're going for balancing half moon again, but with a variation. So reaching forward, lifting that back leg up behind us, and then see if you can bring the heel to the bottom and catch hold of the ankle. And then kick the foot back into the hand, push the hips forward, hold it here. And this bottom hand might float up into half prayer. See how it goes. Have a go, have a play around with it. We could always stay with the extension if we want to. And then carefully release the foot all the way to the back of the mat. Let's frame that front foot with the hands. Step back to plank. Take your vinyasa from there. Well done, everyone. And push back. Downward facing. Or child's pose. You've got 5 breaths. Just going to turn around for the other side. Let's reconnect with that breath. Ready to do the left side. Ready? So from our downward facing dog, look forward, bend at the knees, jump or step. To the top of the mat, lift the chest. Exhale into a forward fold. Sweep the arms up on the inhale, reach up. Bring them into prayer as you exhale. Good, inhale, arms up. Little cactus back bend here, so cactus the arms, lift the chest, go back. Reach up high. Exhale, fold. Good, and then step back with the left foot. So it's a nice long stance, drop that back heel down. Raise up into warrior one, hips and shoulders are forward. Little cactus in the back bend here. Inhale, reach the arms up, open into warrior two. Nice and long. Bring the elbow to the knee, fingertips to the ceiling, or go deeper and take your hand to the floor inside the foot and reach the arm over the head. Half or full bind as well if you want to go deeper. It really is your practice. So take it where you want to. And just find the breath. Find the breath, make sure the core is engaged. Squeeze the right hip under, pull the left shoulder back. Lovely. Another round of breath here. If we're bound, slowly release out. Everybody, let's come back up, warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Take your reverse, reach up and all the way back. Bring the arms back up to shoulder height. And then our balancing half with variation. So reach forward, bring the hand to the floor, lift that back leg, and then bring the heel into the bum. So you can catch hold of the foot. Push the foot into the hand, push your hips forward, and hold, and then float that bottom hand up into half prayer at heart center. Let's hope you've got better balance than me this morning. So focusing on one point. There we go, hand to prayer. And then carefully release yourself out. Step the foot back, hands come down, step back into your plank. Take your vinyasa from there. Well done. Inhaling into up dog. Everybody knees down. And so we can sit back and finish with our child's pose. Just relax the elbows to the floor. You might want to bring your arms down by the sides of the body. And just release off. Nice big deep inhale. Sigh the breath out. Just release, let it go. Well done, good work. Okay, so we're going to go back up into our downward facing. And then ready to take our hip opener. We're going to work with pigeon this morning. So if you take your left leg into the air to begin, and then bring left knee behind your wrist. And lay the leg across the top edge of the mat. You can get hold of the foot and bring it up a little bit higher if you want to. Just check that that right leg is going centrally down the mat behind you. Keep yourself high to begin with. So keep the chest lifted. So the hands maybe can come onto the hips, if that's okay for your back, or just one on either side. I just want you to keep your hips nice and square. Try and sink down into the center here. Take that breath. And then slowly release down onto forearms or to lay down completely. You maybe rest your hands, your head on your hands. Or lay down fully if it feels okay. Wherever you want to take it, just work into the hip area to try and keep the upper body relaxed and free from tension. Good, a couple more breaths here. And then with care and control, bring your hands back so they're underneath your shoulders. Drop your left hip down onto the floor. And then bring the right knee up. So it's just behind the foot. So we've got zigzag legs. And then if you want to, it doesn't work for my knee, you can bring this front foot up onto a half lotus if you want. That's if you want to. All right, we're going to bring the left hand behind us, and then with the right hand we're going to sweep up and back, and then bring it back down again. So sweep up, lift the hips, reach all the way back, and bring it back down again. And this third one, we're going to lift up and hold and reach back and push the hips forward. And then carefully release it all the way back. Okay, hands down to the top edge of the mat. Take that back leg long so we can tuck the toe and push back into downward facing. Just have a little wiggle out of the legs there. Well, and then take the right leg up into the air. Do the same on the other side, right knee behind the right wrist. Let that left leg go long behind you. We're just taking a few breaths, proud to begin with. So hands can be on the hips so you can feel how square the hips are, or they can just be on the floor. Just allow the hips to sink to begin. Maybe that back foot, that leg can slide a little bit further back. And then when you're ready, lower down carefully onto forearms or to lay down completely, bringing the forehead to rest on the mat and the arms are extended forward. And breathe into that hip wherever you are feeling it, whether it's on the outside of the hip, the inner thigh, around the buttocks. But really just sinking down and releasing any tension. Breathing into that tightness that you may be feeling, to try to release it on your exhale. Lovely. Okay, let's carefully bring ourselves back up so the hands come back underneath the shoulders, dropping down onto your butt cheek. And bring the left knee up so it's just behind the right foot. And then if you want to place the right foot up onto the half lotus here, you can. It's a bit difficult when you start lifting up, it might slide off. So I prefer just to keep mine down on the floor. And then the right hand comes behind. With the left arm, we sweep up and lift the hips up and back. And bring it back down. So inhale, lift up. Raise those hips, reach back. And exhale. Bring it down. And one more. Inhale, reach up, reach back, hold here. It's like a seated wild thing. Reach back. And exhale. Carefully release. Bring your hands to the top of the mat. Extend the leg back and push back into your downward facing dog. Well done. Bend the knees. Bend the knees. Take your chest back towards your thighs. And then extend the legs a little bit closer, taking those heels down to the mat. Nice strong downward facing dog. And then release off the tension. Look forward, then jumping into seated. So jump the feet into cross legs and bring your bottom down to the floor. Lovely. Take hold of the knees with the left hand. Bring the right hand behind you and just twist off to the side. And then change, so grabbing the knees with the right arm, reach back with the left, look over the left shoulder. And then back to center. Bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze in. Taking the feet off the floor and then lifting them up into your half Navasana, half boat position. Maybe extending the arms forward if you want to, or we can stay with a little hold here. I've got a dodgy hip flexor, so I'm going to just stay here. Just lightly hold the back of my legs. And then extending one leg up and release and the other. And just alternating legs up to the ceiling. And then back to center and open and slowly lower all the way down. Just hover off the floor. Maybe take your arms up above the head for a moment. Hover, 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 and release. Release, lay down. Bring your arms down by your sides. Bring your knees, bend your knees, bring your heels in towards your bottom. Feet are hip distance apart. And then as we inhale, we're going to lift the hips up towards the ceiling, keeping the knees tracking towards our toes, and then exhale, we roll back down again. So inhale, we raise up, and exhale, we lower back down. So try and do one vertebra at a time. Inhale, lift up, so go with your breath. Exhale, lower down. And inhale to lift up. And exhale to lower down. Let's just do one more. Inhale to lift up and hold. If you want to roll your shoulders under and interlace your hands underneath, you can do that. To get a little bit higher, pushing and lifting those hips up, driving the floor away with your feet, keeping the gaze up towards the ceiling, a space between chin and chest. Hold and lift a little bit more, squeeze and lift. Exhale, hands out and roll it down. Slowly bringing yourself back to the mat. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. And then legs go into the air for your waterfall position, or if you want to go for your full shoulder stand. Then using the core strength to lift up, hands, fingers and thumbs onto the back to support. Walk your elbows in towards each other. And then try to get yourself, so feet, hips and shoulders are in a vertical line. And just breathe here, looking up towards your toes. Long inhales, slow exhales. Those elbows can come a little bit closer. The hands are getting closer to the shoulder blades. Squeeze, activate the legs. Imagine you've got a tennis ball between your ankles that you're trying not to drop. The legs are strong, belly's on, bum is on, everything's on. And keep that tension through the body as you lower your feet down over your head towards the floor. They might touch down. If they do, the hands can release off the back. If they don't, keep the support there. You can flex your feet and push the back of your knees up towards the ceiling. And then if you have the balance, the arms can then reach up. This is just another variation to plow that we can do, or we can place the hands on the thighs here. It's as if the hamstrings are super tight. I'm doing this because I can't talk once my feet are on the floor. So just holding whichever posture you've gone for. Nice long inhales and exhales. Breathe through that restriction you've placed on your breath. Well done, everybody. And then slowly, you can use your arms as brakes. Let's roll the spine back down to the mat. There's the option to bend the knees when the bottom touches down, or you can keep the legs long and travel them all the way back down the mat to bring yourself back onto the floor. Awesome. All right, hands under the bum, palms are facing down. Let's bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to flop out wide into our bound angle. So taking bound angle with the legs, lifting up onto our forearms, tucking the elbows under, and then puff the chest and let the head go back for your fish posture with bound angle legs. So trying to get the crown of the head to the floor, keep lifting that chest, arching the spine, letting the head go back. Breathe into the front of the neck. Maybe bring your bottom teeth over your top teeth to stretch out the front of the neck too. And carefully release. You can keep your legs as they are if that feels good for you, and just take the arms out. By the side, palms are facing up for Shavasana. Or if the lower back doesn't feel great, take the feet to mat distance and just knock the knees together. Maybe you can have a little windscreen wipe of the knees from side to side before we relax and settle into the posture. Well done, guys. Finding your breath once more, closing down the eyes. And just allowing the body to relax, to release, to let go of any remaining tension. Having the palms faced up so we can surrender our heart space. And just open up through the shoulders one last time. Relaxing the facial muscles, making sure that the jaw is soft, the cheeks are relaxed, the forehead is smooth. The space between the eyebrows is soft. Just recognizing this moment of mental and physical calm. Then once again, just decluttering the mind if it has become full of thoughts. Try to maintain your headspace. Just checking the body for any tightness or tension that's remaining, and release it if you can. If not, just breathe into that area where you feel tightness. Let's make the breath a little longer, a little deeper, and start making movements with fingers and toes. If we're in bound angle, then bringing the knees together. Maybe just windscreen wiping the knees from side to side. Rocking them over to roll yourself onto one side. Before carefully bringing yourself back up into seated to face forwards, keeping the eyes closed if we can. Sitting with a tall spine, relax shoulders. Just equalize that energy within and around the body. And then inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands into prayer at heart center. Remember your focus, your intention for practice today, your reason for being on your mat. I thank you all for joining me this morning and allowing me to guide you through your practice. Namaste.